Askreddit thread. What is your favorite quote from a fictional character? Could be from a game, a TV show, a movie, etc. If you're dumb, surround yourself with smart people. And if you're smart, surround yourself with smart people who disagree with you. Isaac J. Sports Night. It's hard to win an argument with a smart person, but almost impossible to win one against a stupid person. You have to educate out the stupid in order to win an argument against a stupid person, thereby making them smart in one single, insignificant aspect of reality. Yeah, it's a lot more effort than it's worth. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. No being is so important that he can usurp the rights of another. Villain who twirl their mustaches are easy to spot. Those who clothe themselves in good deeds are well camouflaged. Things are only impossible until they are not. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, a few of so many. I want to expand this because it is one of my favorite moments in Star Trek. We think we've come so far. Torture of heretics, burning of witches, it's all ancient history. And then, before you can blink an eye, suddenly it threatens to start all over again. I believed her. I helped her. I did not see what she was. Mr. Worf. Villains who twirl their mustaches are easy to spot. Those who clothe themselves in good deeds are well camouflaged. I think after yesterday, people will not be so ready to trust her. Maybe, but she or someone like her will always be with us, waiting for the right climate in which to flourish, spreading fear in the name of righteousness. Vigilance, Mr. Worf. This is the price we have to continually pay. With that first link, the chain is forged, the first speech censored, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. Your Honor, the courtroom is crucible. In it, we burn away irrelevances until we are left with pure product, the truth for all time. The measure of man. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment, for even the very wise cannot see all ends. Gandalf. Dumping my favorite Tolkien quotes. All we have to decide is what to do with the time is given to us. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time is given to us. With the time is given us. Did I read that? All we have to decide is what to do with the time is given us. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I thought I was just reading it wrong, but it's intentionally worded weird. It is not our part to master all the tides of the world, but to do what is in us for the succor, I don't know how to say that, of those years wherein we are set, uprooting the evil in the fields that we know, so that those who live after we have clean earth to till. What weather they shall have is not ours to rule. What? War must be while we defend our lives against a destroyer who would devour all. But I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for its glory. I love only which that they defend. It is not despair, for despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not. It is wisdom to recognize necessity, when all other courses have been weighed, though a folly as it may appear to those who cling to false hope. If more of us value food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. Alright, let's stop reading those. Those are actually kind of hard to read out loud, just because they involve a lot of wordplay. Or maybe I'm just really bad at reading. But then again, that's why I'm doing these videos, to get better at it. It is said, Percy, that the civilized man seeks out good and intelligent company, so that, through learned discourse, he may raise above the savage and closer to God. Personally, however, I like to start the day with a total dickhead to remind me I'm best. Baldwick, but I can't lie, I'll go to hell. Blackbladder. Baldic, eternity with Beelzebub and all his hellish instruments of death will be a picnic compared to 5 minutes with me and this pencil. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime, doubly so. Ford Perfect. What's wrong with being drunk? Ask a glass of water. How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? Winnie the Pooh. Promise me you'll never forget me, because if I thought you would, I'd never leave. Winnie Thurston Pooh. Edit. Would just like to add in a bonus quote. How do you spell love? You don't spell it. You feel it. Amidst the summer shade of youth, when father's sun had set, I swore with blind and certain truth I would never forget. I savored every second strain in case he fell behind, embracing every ache and pain to keep him in my mind. But every stage and sense and sight supplements another space, and though I try each day and night, I can't recall his face. That is the most beautiful way of describing coming out of the last years of childhood with the loss of a parent that I have ever read. Amazing. The BSG quote about separation of military and police. There's a reason you separate military and the police. One fights the enemy of the state, the other serves and protects the people. When the military becomes both, then the enemies of the state tend to become the people. Commander William Adama. I always love this quote, especially since early on everybody thought the military was trying to gain power. But here's Adama is actively rejecting power and saying it has to go to somebody else. Great, now I have to go watch the whole show again. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. Satan from the Milton's Paradise Lost. Oh, I'm not going to read that entire quote, that looks long. I've got 3 kids and no money. Why can't I have no kids and 3 money? Homer Simpson. I'm not normally a praying man, but if you're up there, please help me, Superman. Is it Batman? No, Homer, it's a scientist. Batman's a scientist. $20. I wanted a peanut. Oh, I remember that. I'm so smart. SMRT. It is a curious thing, the death of a loved one. We all know that our time in this world is limited, and that eventually all of us will end up underneath some sheet, never to wake up. And yet, it is always a surprise when it happens to someone we know. It is like walking up the stairs to your bedroom in the dark, and thinking there is one more stair that there is. Your foot falls down through the air, and there is a stickly moment of dark surprise as you try to readjust your way you thought of things. A series of unfortunate events, The Reptile of Room by Lemony Snicket. You become, it takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. From The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Willems, one of my favorites from childhood. What? This book always made me so sad. I hated that they had to burn everything. My mom never really read it to me often because I was a very empathetic child. I've never believed in the end times. We are mankind. Our footprints are on the moon. When the last trumpet sounds and the beast rises from the pit, we will kill it. Stalker Pentcoat, Pacific Rim, Tales from Year Zero. Someone ever tries to kill you, you try to kill him right back. Malcolm Reynolds. You know what the chain of command is? It's the chain I go and get and beat you with till you understand who it's rotten command around here. I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the fire around me. Joshua Grumman, the Burned Man from Fallout, New Vegas, not Lost Out. Nobody dicks that long, not even Long Dick Johnson, and he had a fucking long dick. That's the name. Glass Fallout. If we hit that bullseye, the rest of the dominoes should fall like a house of cards. Checkmate. Zap Brannigan. She's built like a state house, but she handles like a Bristow. That's a great line when test driving a car. Confuses the hell out of the car salesman. When I'm in command, every mission is a suicide mission. What is that? That appears to be the mothership, sir. Then what did we just destroy? The Hubble Space Telescope. Kif, have the boys lay out my formal shorts. The boy, sir? You, Kif, you lay out the formal shorts. The time has come where we must make the choice between what is right and what is easy. Albus Dumbledore. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Kill me. You couldn't kill my boredom. Ronoro Zorro. You shouldn't run when you've figured out you weren't as strong as me, Snow Woman. Sure, there are some things I really don't like to cut, but let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a wild animal that you were sure wouldn't bite you? Because I haven't. Oh, how the tables turn, Michael Scott. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Would I rather be feared or loved? Both. I want people to be afraid about how much they love me. No one here is disgruntled. Everybody is very gruntled. I hate so much about the things you choose to be. Do you think God stays in heaven because he lives in fear of what he created? Steve Buscemi, Spy Kids 2. It's a fictional character based on 9/11. Wait, Spy Kids. Remember, this is the same series that spun off the Machete Kills franchise. Okay, is that actually acknowledged anywhere in the Machete movies? I haven't seen them, but I remember when the trailer came out and going, Uncle Machete, no. Aside from the fact that his name is Machete in both movies, there really isn't any references or acknowledgement. In fact, Darla, Sabara, and Alex Vega appear in Machete movies as different characters than Cameron and Junai, so it's actually more contradictory than anything. Do you think God stays in heaven because he lives in fear of what he created? Skeletons, dead skeletons. Do you think God stays in heaven because... Minions. There is only one God, and his name is death, and there is only one thing we say to death, not today. Serial Pharrell. I bet his hair's greasier than Joffrey's cunt. What? There's a time and place for everything, but not now. Professor Oak. Fuck you, Oak. I'll ride my bike in the Pokemon Center if I want to. I have told this to few people, gentlemen, and I suspect I never will again. But one day, when I was a young boy on a holiday in Uberwald, I was walking around the bank of a stream when I saw a mother otter with her cubs. A very enduring sight. I'm sure you will agree. And even as I watched, the mother otter dived into the water and came up with a plump salmon, which she subdued and dragged onto the half-submerged log. As she ate it, while of course it was still alive, the body split, and I remember to this day the sweet pinkness of its roes as they spilled out, much to the delight of the baby otters who scrambled over themselves to feed on the delicacy. One of nature's wonders, gentlemen. Mother and children dining upon mother and children. And that's when I first learned about evil. It is built into the very nature of the universe. Every world spins in pain. If there is any kind of supreme being, I told myself it is up to all of us to become his moral superior. Lord Vinatare. Somewhat similar in his speech to Vimes and Guards. I believe you find life such a problem because you think there are the good people and the bad people, said the man. You're wrong, of course. There are always and only the bad people. Some of them are on opposite sides. He waved his thin hand toward the city and walked over the window. A great rolling sea of evil, he said, almost proprietorily. Shallower in some places, of course, but deeper. Oh, so much deeper in others. But people like you put together little rafts and rules and vaguely good intentions and say, this is the opposite. This will triumph in the end. Amazing! He slapped Vimes good-naturedly on the back. Down there, he said, are people who will follow any dragon, worship any god, ignore any iniquity. All out of kind of conundrum, everyday badness. Not the really high, creative loathsomeness of the great sinners, but a sort of mass-produced drunkenness of soul. Sin, you might say, without a trace of originality. They accept evil not because they say yes, but because they don't say no. People on the side of the people always ended up disappointed. In any case, they found that the people tended not to be grateful or appreciative of forward-thinking or obedient. The people tended to be small-minded and conservative, not very clever, and were even distrustful of cleverness. And so the children of the revolution were faced with the age-old problem. It wasn't that you had the wrong kind of government, which was obvious, but that you had the wrong kind of people. As soon as you saw people as things to be measured, they didn't measure up. What would run through the streets soon enough wouldn't be the revolution or a riot. It would be people who were frightened and panicking. It was what happened when the machinery of city life faltered and the wheels stopped turning and all the little rules broke down. And when that happened, humans were worse than sheep. Sheep just ran. They didn't try to bite the sheep next to them. The Night Watch. What is this from? That sounds like an interesting book. William Roper. So, now you give the devil the benefit of law. Sir Thomas More. Yes, what would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil? William Roper. Yes, I'd cut down every law in England to do that. Oh? And when was the last law was down, and the devil turned around on you? Where would you hide, Roper, the laws all being flat? This country is planted thick with laws, from coast to coast, man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down, you're just the man to do it. Do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow them, then? Yes, I'd give the devil's benefit of law for my own safety's sake. A man for all seasons. Yes, I know that Sir Thomas More was a historical figure. This version portrayed in this movie was a personality so different that I consider it to be a fictional character. I don't really understand what the hell they're talking about. If you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. Uncle Iroh, The Legend of Korra. Capitalized. Oh, he's in Legend of Korra too? I really need to finish that. I only went through the first 2 seasons. It is important to draw wisdom from different places. If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. But I only take my wisdom from Uncle Iroh. When we are at our lowest points, we are open to the greatest change. It is only after we have lost everything that we are free to do anything. Tyler Durden. Fight Club. My favorite Iroh quote. Sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else's. I know you're not supposed to cry over spilled tea, but cries, it's just so sad. It's time to start looking inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you and what do you want? Sometimes clouds have 2 sides, a dark and light, and a silver lining in between. It's like a silver sandwich, so when in life seems hard, just take a bite out of the silver sandwich. There are actually some great Zuko quotes, though. His character development really is incredible, and it's my favorite part of the show. You're going to fail a lot before things work out, but even though you'll probably fail over and over again, you have to try every time. You can't quit because you're afraid you might fail. And everyone adores Azula. My father says she was born lucky. He says I was lucky to be born. I don't need luck, though. I don't want it. I've always had to struggle and fight, and that's made me strong. It's made me who I am. And then the one from Zuko's mother. That's who you are, Zuko. Someone who keeps fighting even though it's hard. If anyone who hasn't seen The Last Airbender, read these, and still isn't convinced, it's worth a watch. I don't know what will convince you. I've been thinking that Zuko's development is really the important part of the show, because Aang could have blown Ozai to smithereens in about episode 5 if he wanted to, but Zuko's the one that actually ensures a lasting peace. That's debatable. I'll argue that the show was as much about Aang's development as it was Zuko's. Aang had to accept his role as Avatar, accept he was a last air nomad, and then accept his destiny to defeat the Fire Lord and end the war. Also, Aang struggled whether or not to kill Ozai, which went against the monk upbringing. Aang was a prodigy, sure, but if he went up against the Fire Lord in the first season, he would have gotten bodied. He had hard enough time going against Azula in season 2. I still maintain Azula was OP, and didn't master the Avatar state until the end of the show. Azula was pretty OP. Firebender who could shoot lightning. Until everybody did that in Korra. To find yourself, you must look into yourself. Only then will the true self reveal itself. Pardon my French, but Cameron is so tight that if you stuck a lump of coal up his ass in 2 weeks, you'd have a diamond. Bender, honey, we love you. Shut up, baby. I know it. Hey, baby, want to kill all humans? Do a flip. Don't jump, Hermes. You have so much to live for. I get it. Reverse psychology. Bran thought about it. Can a man still be brave if he's afraid? That is the only time a man can be brave, his father told him. You waste time trying to get people to love you. You'll end up the most popular dead man in town. Perhaps we can fly, all of us. How will we ever know unless we leap from some tall tower? No man ever truly knows what he can do unless he dares to leap. Also, godless. Why, Aaron? I am the godliest man to ever raise sail. You serve one god, Damper, but I have served 10,000. From Ib to Azai. When men see my sails, they pray. Euron Greyjoy. Are they ever going to finally put Euron into the show? Probably next season. If any man dies with a clean sword, I will rape his fucking corpse. Sandor the Hound. Okay. God, that quote got me so hyped during that episode. I wanted you to see what real courage is, instead of getting the idea that courage is a man with a gun in his hand. It's when you know It's when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and see it through no matter what. Only a fool humbles himself, with the world is so full of men eager to do that job for him. People die at their dinner tables. They die in their beds. They die squatting over their chamber pots. Everybody dies sooner or later. So don't worry about death. Worry about your life. Take charge of your life for as long as it lasts. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Rorschach. Actually, I can't say his name, can I? Give me back my face. Rorschach. Yeah, I can't say it even though I can read it. Even with it spelled out, I meant. It doesn't matter. It's in the past, Rafiki. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like an armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself. You exist because we allow it. You will end because we demand it. Sovereign from Mass Effect. I don't need luck. I have ammo. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. Yoda. That's planning for failure, even dumber than regular planning. Rick and Morty. If I wanted to be sober, I wouldn't have gotten drunk. First race war, huh? Oh boy, here I go killing again. I have no code of ethics. I will kill old people, pets, children, doesn't matter. I just love killing. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. My favorite Rick and Morty quote. I don't like the last part though. Come watch TV. If they just removed that, it would be a lot better quote for B. From probably the best episode. That episode, to me, contains the quintessential Morty characterization. His whole attitude is, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Everything's overwhelming. I'm just going to survive. And, if I can, try and enjoy myself here and there along the way. Oh, great. Adventure buddy. Rick and Morty go to the giant prison. You know, someone drops the soap, it's going to land on our heads and crush our spines, Sporty. You know, it'll be real easy to rape us after that. Oh, that's funny. Oh wow, there's a lot more left. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I laughed my ass off when I heard it. Is your intention to abandon Rick using his own portal gun? In bird culture, that is considered a dick move.